Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Plaggemier, the Executive Director of the National Cybersecurity Alliance, and I'm joined today with Jen Caltrider from Mozilla Foundation, who's going to talk to us a little bit about privacy and how she came to work in privacy and some of the great work that Mozilla does. What would you say to young people who've grown up around all this technology, maybe teenagers who have a little different attitude of, maybe a little fatalistic. My data is already out there. Everybody knows everything about me anyway. What difference does it make? Why should I care?
Yeah. And that's a tough question. And I'm an oldie. So, why should young people listen to me? But I will say from my experience, there comes a point in time when you want the world to know less about you. You don't want Amazon or Google to know, all of your interests, in part because that's personal. Like that, the world doesn't need to know that about you, but also because your interests might change over time. But Amazon and Google are still going to try and push you for the things you liked when you were 18 or 15 or however old you are.
15. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you want to grow and you want to have the ability to grow, you've got to have some privacy to experiment with things and try new things and maybe not have everybody all up in your business while you're doing that. I mean, anybody over the age of 30 can look back at a time in their life where they had a haircut that was an experiment and a question.
Why did I do that?
Or we did things that were like, everybody that's my age that grew up says, man, I'm so glad we didn't have this technology tracking us when I was a kid, because holy cow. And so it's just, it's hard. You do live in a world where companies know everything about you, but the more that you can do to protect yourself down the road, the happier you're going to be. And it's young people, but old people too are rather fatalistic about it. And I think in some ways, young people are even more aware. I think there's an age difference, like young people probably aren't aware, but I think some young people are pretty aware that, everything's out there. It's just the question of what you can do. And I always go back to support the companies that are doing good jobs and don't support the companies that are doing bad jobs if you can.
That's great advice. Yeah, we all have things we've done when we were younger that we're really glad aren't on the internet today. No, that's great advice for both teenagers and for the parents of teenagers. That's fantastic advice.